This is Algebra 1, Lesson 20, has to do with volume. Up to this point, what we've done is we've taken something like a geometric solid, which is actually a three-dimensional object, and we found the surface area, how much cardboard it would take to make this box. Well, in this lesson, we're talking about volume, which is how much stuff you could put into this container here. So how much room is inside of it, how much water you could put in, how much gold you could put in, etc. And when you are finding out how many units or how much you can put in there, it's usually measured in cubic units. So if it's feet, it'd be cubic feet. If it's inches, it's cubic inches. If it's cubic centimeters, if you've got a snow machine that's 900 cc, that is cubic centimeters. That's the volume. That's the room your pistons take up in the engine. So you use cc's, you use volume a lot. A gallon of milk, that's volume. We use liquid as like gallons, but it's also got a number of cubic units in it, or cubic inches, or cubic feet, or whatever. So those units usually are little tiny boxes that are, let's say this is 1 cubic inch. The way you label that is you put 1 inch and then you put a cube up there, an exponent of a 3, meaning cubic inches. That means that this is 1 by 1 by 1. If we were to measure this down, it would be 1 over, this is 1, and 1 deep. So it's this little tiny ice cube that's 1 by 1 by 1. And how many of them fit in that box tells you how many, tells you the volume. So let's say we can get 160 in there. So we have 160 cubic inches, or 160 of these little cubes that we can put in our box. So that's what volume is. So it's not only length times width, it's also the height of the container that you're putting stuff in. So when we're talking about the volume of what is called a right solid means that the side of the solid is 90 degrees to the base. So if we have a picture of a right solid, let me put one up here so we can look at it. Okay, so there's a right solid. Now if you look at this, this is 90 degrees. See, this is the base down here, and this is the side. So this base actually has a line that you can't see that goes there. Okay, so that's a base. In fact, this picture right here is the base. So if we're looking for the volume of any object, what we have to do is take the area of the base and multiply it by the height of the object. So let's say that this is 10. So if this is 10, we're going to take the area of the base, which in this case, I'm going to have to use black because you can't see anything I'm doing. The area of the base is 1/2 base times height because it's a triangle. So 1/2, the base is 4, the height is 8, so that's going to be 16. And let's say, like I said, that this height is 10 from here to here, so we're going to multiply that by 10 and get 160 cubic whatever, cubic inches, cubic feet, whatever they tell you it is. In this case they said centimeters, so it would be 160 centimeters with a cube sign on the top, an exponent of a 3 up there on top. Alright, so you get some weird shaped ones here, so let me put a couple of those up. Okay, so I took a picture of the whole page, so we'll just kind of scroll around as we're doing these. This particular one is 20.2, and it says the base of the right prism is 8 meters high. So this here is 8 meters from the bottom to the top. Alright, find the volume of the right prism. The dimensions are in meters. Alright, so one of the things we're going to do is we're going to find the area of the base first and then multiply it by the height. So the area of the base. First thing we're going to have to do is make this into something that we can figure out. So I'm going to make it into a triangle and a rectangle. The rectangle is 4 over to here. The whole thing is 10, which means from here to here has to be 6. So we can throw out this 10. We don't need it anymore. and our height is 6. So the rectangle is going to be 6 times 4. The triangle is going to be 1/2 base times height. So 1/2 times 6 times 6 is going to be 36, 18, taking half of that. So 24 plus 18 is going to be 42. So that's the area of the base. To find the volume, all we have to do is take that 42 there times our 8, and that will give us 336 meters cubed, because they did say it was in meters. Okay, so that is exercise 20.2. Alright, let's move this up and look at the next one. Okay, so where is it? There we go. So we have a weird shaped object there, and they're telling us that it's 10 high. In fact, they say it's 10 kilometers high. That's quite a large object, because that's about 7.5 miles high, or about 7 miles high. So whatever it is, it's huge. Alright, so that's 10 kilometers high. So we're going to find the area of that first, and then multiply it by our 10, and we'll be done. So what we're going to do is we're going to divide this up, they already did, into a rectangle that is 30, 5 times 6. And then we have to find the area of that circle. Remember, area of a circle is 2 pi r. No, it's not. It's, let's put pi r squared up there. I get those mixed up sometimes too if I'm not careful. So the area, that's pi r squared. Well, our r is 3, so it's actually pi times 9. And pi times 9, if you have a calculator, well, in fact, we don't even have to do that. Pi times 9 is 28.27. Alright, and because it's not a full circle, it's a half circle, we're going to divide that by 2. And that gives me 14.13. So this and this are my bases that I'm going to add up. So I'm going to take 30 plus 14.13, and I'm going to get 44.13, and that, so that's the area of my base. Now I just need to multiply it by 10, and when I multiply it by 10, I get 441.37 as far as my cubic kilometers, or my kilometers cubed. Okay, so let's look at a couple more and we'll be done. Okay, so this is 20.4. We've got a right circular cylinder, radius of 6, height of 11. Find the volume of the right circular cylinder. So again, finding the area of the base, and then we just multiply that by the height. So area of the base times height. Help if I could spell height. There we go. So the area of the base circle is pi r squared, and in this case it's pi times 6 squared, which equals 36 pi. And we're going to multiply that by its height. So what we can do, and probably what I would suggest doing, is multiply the 36 times 11, and you end up getting 396 pi. And you can leave it that way, but if you're going to put it in a way that people can understand volume, you're going to have to change that to 1244, and that's 1244, it's in inches cubed. So that's how you do that one. Okay, so let's get rid of that and move my screen up so we can look at one of the other ones here. Okay, there it is. Whoa, that's a crazy looking one. Alright, so let's see what we can do with this. Oh gosh, the base of the right solid has an area of 52. Oh good, they already told you that, so you don't have to actually go and figure the area of that out. That'd be a mess. The height of it is 15. So from here to here is 15. Find the volume. All you have to do is multiply these two together because they already gave you the area of the base, and that's usually the hard part. Okay, so that's it for lesson number 20.